Hello, everyone. You are welcome to this week's episode of Rescued by the Truth. Yes, and I'm your host, Queen Jane. I promised us to give us unvarnished truths on a weekly basis, and we have never relented, we have never failed, and this week is not left out either. This week's topic, let's go in. Says, cut down your appetite. I know you'll be wondering, what are we going to talk about tonight? Listen carefully, pay attention. You may have to call someone to join you to hear this because this is very important. This is the reason why many people are indebted as we speak. This is the reason why some people are in depression. This is the reason why many people are under pressure. So we need to hear this topic. Cut down your appetite. Now let's go into definitions. Now, what is a want? I told us we separate your wants from your needs. We're separating your wants from your needs. So, what is a want? A want is just a desire. Then what is a need? Need is a basic requirement, as something essential that you need. It's essential, it's important. But want is just a desire. Can you see that? So your ability to separate your wants from your needs will make you not to live a life of pressure, will make you not to be indebted, make you live a free life. Let's go in. Now, how to cut down your appetite. I know you want good things. Even God our Father says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health." But there's a way to everything. There's a way to everything. There is a time under the heaven. There's a time and a season for everything. Character A's time may not be character B's time. Everybody's time may not be the same. So for the fact that things are going perfectly well with character A does not mean it should go quite well with character B. But your ability to understand your time and your season is what is going to distinguish you. What is going to make you a wise person. Now, how do you cut down your appetite? appetite 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 is not really likened to food. When we say we don't have the appetite to eat, or I have the appetite to eat, it's not really likened to food. It's likened to our basic needs. It's likened to our wants also. But your ability to cut it down makes you a wise person. There are areas we need to cut down our appetites. I'll be taking them one after the other. Areas we need to cut down our appetite. Number one, the food we eat. Let's start with the appetite itself. The food we eat. The food you eat. At your level, what kind of food do you eat? We said we are going to separate your wants from your needs. Food is a basic requirement, right? So it's placed under your need. But for the fact that it's placed under your need does not really mean that you should eat every kind of food. You eat the one you can afford per time. If you are the person that is still struggling to make ends meet, there are certain food you mustn't eat. The main thing is to eat and be satisfied. That's just the main thing. The other things on top does not really matter. That you eat without chicken is not going to reduce you. That you eat without cow head, cow tail, barbecue fish is not going to reduce you. It's only a matter of time. That's why I say you need to understand your time and season. But people do not understand this thing. Every Sunday you want to eat chicken, but you cannot afford it. When you are done eating the chicken, you go borrowing. He who goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. You go and borrow to eat. Do you know the worst thing that can ever happen to anybody under the heaven and under the earth is to borrow to eat? Do you know it's better to borrow to start a business that you know that the business will yield fruits and you pay your debts than to borrow to eat? How are you going to clear the bills? The food that you have eaten and digested, how is it going to pay the debts? It's just that people do not think. So that's why we say cut down your appetite. That you are mixing rice with oil today does not mean you're going to eat rice and oil for the rest of your life. You shouldn't necessarily change. You can't be eating pizza every day when you cannot afford it. You cannot be eating shawarma every day when you cannot afford it. You are a thief. You are a thief. You can't clear everything in your account just to go and have a good time. Oh man, oh, where's the place is happening? Where? Oh, that's why you see some people. You'll start up something today. Next time, Oga, give me something to start up business. I don't know what is happening to my business. But the money you had to start up a business, you have cleared it. You have finished it with your mouth. You go, you say, give me 10 bottles. Share everybody 10 bottles. Give everybody 10 bottles. Yes, the big boys have come. Big boys have come. Share fish for everybody. Oh, share fish for everybody. And later, after 1 week, you start begging to feed. Does that really make sense? So cut down the food you eat till you get to the level. There's a level you get to. You know, King Solomon of the Bible, they said he kills how many thousand ram and all of that every day. That was his level. He can afford it. There are people that can afford to kill cow every day. There are people that can afford to kill 20 chicken every day. That is their level. Please find your level and stay there so that you don't go borrowing to end up sorrowing. Do you understand that? So that's about food. Food is a basic necessity. It doesn't mean you should eat every food. There's some food that they are luxury. You don't need them for now. Until you get to that level that you really know you need them. The next one you should cut down is your rent. I'm going to dwell a bit on this. Rent. Rent is where you are paying that is not fully yours. You pay monthly or yearly basis. You renew your rent where you live. Now, are you aware that it's not everywhere you're supposed to live? You find out where you can afford. Now, you are newly married. You now rented a 3-bedroom apartment. Who is going to stay in the other 2 rooms? Have you thought about that? You are newly wedded. You just got married. You and your husband, you went to rent a 3-bedroom apartment. And both of you are just going to sleep in 1 room and you don't have any children yet. Who is going to stay in the 2 rooms that is remaining? Waste. 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 Waste is the reason why people will have something today, tomorrow they don't have. Because they haven't managed. Even God hates waste. God likes people that are prudent in spending. Prudent in their spending. God loves prudent people. So you cannot be a newlywed and you're having a 3-bedroom apartment, except it's your house. If it's your house, that's fine. But if it's not your house, you are paying for a 3-bedroom apartment that you only sleep in 1 room, then it is a waste. It is a waste. I'll give you instances. We got married. You know me, I like being practical. And I like using myself as an example so that you don't search too far. And this story, whatever I'm telling you, is verifiable. You can verify. I got married 2014. I came down from Lagos, got married in my state, in Anambra State. Then I joined my husband in Port Harcourt here in Nigeria. So he wanted to rent a 2-bedroom apartment, which is not bad. It's good if you have the money. Wanted to rent a 2-bedroom apartment. Not really rent, because that apartment, a family friend of his got divorced. He got married to his wife. I think they lived about 4 months, 5 months. They divorced, so the house was vacant. Nobody was staying there. So they had about 7 months or 8 months running. Nobody was living there. So he called me, said, let's move in there so that when the rent expires, we are going to stay there and renew it. Then I asked him one question. How much is the rent? He told me it was 700,000 naira. I said, it's not me. that we live in a house of 700,000 naira when I'm just starting. We don't really have anything. We're just starting just because we want to show off, just because we want to feel good. I say, sorry, I am not going to live in a house rent of 700,000 naira. If we renew today, how are we going to renew tomorrow? He said, okay, let's just stay there, hanging there while we search for our own. So we hung in there. We were there. I couldn't even sleep there more than one night. I said, how will I start my life in an apartment where everybody ran away, husband ran away, wife ran away. They say they don't want to marry again, and we are just newly wedded. The very first time we are moving into our house is to move in a house that both couples ran away. I said, I can't stay. I cannot stay in this kind of house. So the next day, I told him I'm going to look for one-room apartment. That is where we are going to stay. We don't have a son. We don't have any children. We don't have anybody living with us. So who is staying in the second room? That's what I asked him. When we rent it now, who's going to be staying in the second room? It's going to be waste. Wait till children come before we now start thinking of the second room. He agreed. We went in search. We got a place. And we lived there. The place was a beautiful place. The place did not have a fence. The place did not even have a gate. But we stayed there. That was our level because of the price of the house. That was our level. I was excited about the place. I said, oh, this is our level. We stayed there. We had our first son there. But we are no more there anymore. That's what I was talking about. Understanding times and season. Know when it's time to move. Know when to start little. There's a glory in starting little, then you grow and become big. That you now start big and you now drop to zero. That's shameful. So it's better you start small, then you keep growing day by day, year by year. That's expansion. There's no way you come and expand at the beginning, then you now come and reduce at the end. God forbid. So that was how we started. Now, trust me, in that apartment, we had nothing in that apartment. That was our level then. There was nothing. There was no couch. There was no TV. There was no nothing. We're just on the bare floor. Believe it or not, we're on bare floor. We could not afford all those things. Those things were luxuries. So I told them, let's stay like this. Instead of taking everything we have in our account to build couches and buy TVs, and we'll go hungry and we'll not be able to raise our children when they come. I wasn't pregnant then. I told him, please, let's just stay like this so that we can meet other needs. That's one thing about cutting down your appetite. When you cut it down, you can able to meet other needs. So we stayed there. He said, okay, if visitors come, I said, any visitor that cannot take me the way I am should go to his house. So any visitor that came, all of us, we are on the floor. Like the Muslim, we have to worship on the floor. If you don't like it, you go to your house. I want to serve my husband food. I'll get buckets, this paint buckets. I turn it upside down. I serve him his food on the table, on the beautiful table. But we were not like that for too long. We stayed there. Before you knew it, God started changing our stories and things have changed. But the thing is that we had a humble beginning, but the latter end has greatly increased. So cut down your appetite on your rent. It's not everywhere that you will live in. There's a particular estate you like, but the money you cannot afford it. Okay, let's say you can afford it once. What about subsequent times? Who is going to pay for it? Have you thought about it? Okay, let's say somebody even assisted you to pay. There are some testimonies that are not really testimonies. You see people sharing testimonies. Somebody help me to pay rent of 1 year. Praise the Lord. And people will shout, hallelujah. After 1 year, they'll now start begging for who to renew rent for. If somebody wants to give you an oversized blessing and the person is not ready to sustain it, please tell the person to give you the money. You'll find the one that is your size. Don't allow people to push you under pressure. They tell you, this place you are living is not your size. Hold on, I'm going to rent an apartment for you that is befitting to you. And the person will pay for 1 year and leave you to yourself. Have you thought of what is going to happen the other years? You'll be running kitty kitty kata kata where your landlord is going to come. Is that what you really want? So stay where you can afford part time. It's very important. It is very important. Stay where you can afford part time. When your rent is about to expire, you'll be at ease. You release the money and you pay. It's not the one that you go into prayer and fasting. Fasting and prayer is not to pay rent. Fasting and prayer is not to pay rent. It is to bind and cast devils. In case you do not understand, that's what fasting and prayer. Fasting and prayer is to gain power to cast the devil. It is not to pay rent. Rent is to be paid. Just pay your rent. You don't need prayers for that. Pay the landlord. So, but it starts with your appetite. Cut it down. There's a level you get to. You can live in that big place. Do you understand that? I really need you to understand these things because they will help you in the long run. So you don't go chasing shadows because they are shadows. You don't really need them. They are shadows. While you are waiting in a particular place, you are building your own house. Isn't that wiser than packing lots of money to give your landlord that the house is not even yours and your own house you don't have? So why not look for a place you pay less? That's why you say when you cut down your appetite, you'll be able to meet other needs. So stay where you pay less. Then you start investing in building your own house. That's wisdom. That is wisdom. So if you are staying in a 3-bedroom apartment and you have extra 2 rooms or extra 1 room where nobody is staying with, you are the person we are talking about tonight, except if that place is your house. Do you understand that? The next one, we'll talk about schools. After tonight, lots of people will not like me. But I'm going to hit the nail on the head. We are going to say the truth after all. That's the name of the show, Rescued by the Truth. So we are going to tell the truth. Talk about schools. Lots of people put their children in schools they cannot afford. I'm going straight to the point. That school your child is going to, is it the school that you always pray before you pay your rent, before you pay your children's school fees? This is the kind of school your children go to. Because they say, oh, that school is a big school, it's British, whatever, curriculum. And you now carry your children and go there. You pay entrance, pay everything. Then second term, no money to pay. The third term, the school is on your neck. Before you know, they chase your children home. They should go home until the parents pay the school fees. Isn't that embarrassing enough? Is that the kind of life you want to live? Where your children will be disturbing, I want to go to school. Hey, when we were growing up, what kind of schools did you go to? I said something like this on Facebook, I think 2 days back. When we were growing up, we went to government schools. True of us. We went to government schools and we are doing just fine. Any child that will be intelligent will be intelligent. Trust me. Any child that will be brilliant will be brilliant. It's not schools. Schools don't make people. People make people. Schools, it's just building. But you see, anybody that will be useful, the person will have to talk to himself. It has nothing to do with school. So the earlier you understood that, the better for you. Don't put yourself under pressure because you want to measure up with the society. Because you want to feel among, we that our children are going to British standard school, school that you will do, school that you are struggling to pay school fees. You can't pay school fees. School that even, okay, maybe perhaps you can pay the school fees, but once you are done paying the school fees, there's nothing again you can do again. You are angry with everybody. Anybody that asks you for money, you are angry because that's the last money you had. Is that wise? Whereas there are lesser schools you could put your children to, or even government school where you don't even pay at all. You use that money to face something else. When you get to that level, you can take your child to the best of schools. But for now that you are not at that level yet, take that child to a school you can afford. That's what we are talking about. Don't leave your children staying at home for a long time, or in the name of, I haven't paid their school fees. They chase them home, so they have to stay at home. Whereas there are government schools that are free, that they can stay and learn. But pride, pride is a killer of destiny. Pride has made many people, many parents live above their standard because they are trying to meet whatever standard. Who even set the standard? Who set the standard? Who sets the standard? There's nothing like standards. Live according to your means per time. There are some things you don't really need. Why live under pressure? As we speak now, there are many parents that are under pressure right now because of this thing I'm talking about. You know, we are still in September now. School has started 2 weeks back. I'll be 3 weeks ago. Many parents are under pressure now. Many parents are going lean. Many parents are in depression right now because they don't have the money to pay for their children's school fees. Many of their children are still at home because no money to pay for school fees. I met somebody sometime. She complained to me about her child. I told her, that was 4 years back or some 5 years back. I told her, change your child's school. I became her enemy. Told her, you cannot afford these school fees. Change your children's school. Take them to a low. That school was paying about 40-something thousand. And she had 3 children. Okay, calculate it. That's somebody that is not really financially stable. Calculate it, 3 children. How much is that? 120,000. Somebody that could barely feed. Advisor, counselor that I am, advisor. I became an enemy. He said, but your children will go to good school. He said, my own. I said, but how can you pay for the school fees? Are you banking on another person's purse? Are you banking on another person? Do you think you're the only one that has? Everybody has the challenge they're facing. Nobody came to this world hoping to help anybody. They didn't join your umbilical cord with other people's cord that you are hoping on somebody to clear your bills for you. I told her, she insisted. Till today, she's still struggling to pay school fees. For example, you're in first term now. Like now, she's going to clear the bill of third term. Then when you get to second term, she'll not clear the bill of first term. Is that the kind of life you want to live? Whereas there are schools that I told her there was a particular school that teaches well low. The school fees then was 10,000, and she had 3 children, meaning she would just pay 30,000 and save herself some other big money that she could use for other things. But no, society standard, my child has to be in that school. That's the problem of many parents. It's many people that are indebted. It's not the devil. It's not the devil. The devil is innocent though. Devil has nothing to. The man is innocent. He has nothing to do about this. It's our long throat. Our long throat. We have long throats. Oju kokoro. We have big eye. We want big things. That's our problem. Number 3. Clothing. I thought you would not like me tonight. Okay. Are you the type that every occasion you must sew new clothes or buy new clothes? It's not wrong, go. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not wrong. If you can afford it, oh, beautiful. You need to look good, You need to look good. Change your clothing. Even the occasion, you can even change 3 times. That's fine if you can afford it. But it's not when you cannot afford it. Every occasion, both the one they invited you, the one they did not invite you, you go and buy new clothes. You even borrow to buy, or even buy on credit. To impress who? People that do not like you. Who are you impressing? Do you know? Okay, you can do this thing. The last occasion you went for, call anybody that went there with you. Ask them what you wore. Trust me, they will not even remember what you wore. Nobody will remember. To see that you are even impressing people that don't even care. It's not necessary. They are wants. They are not needs. Yes, clothing is part of basic essential. It's part of your needs. But when it becomes luxury, it's no more a need. It's a want. Wear the wants you have. When you get to that level, you know you need to change clothes. If you want to be wearing 10 clothes every day, hey, that's your money. But it's not when you do not have the money you want to impress who. The next one, traveling. I know you will not believe this. Do you know traveling? A lot of expenses go down the drain when you travel. When you travel out of your base. For example, going home, from we Easterners, people from the East, there's no Christmas or Easter, all those things that we don't travel. We must travel now. We must show. We must show. We must appear. But do you know traveling is not necessary? Ask me why. Why traveling? If you are going to enter public transport, you are going to transport yourself and your children. Only your transport expenses going and coming might even be up to 50,000. That's somebody that is struggling. 50,000 going and coming. You are going to feed where you are going to. You are going to please the people you are going to meet, right? I think you are coming down from the city. Maybe you are going to the village to see people. Maybe you are going to buy things, to show that you are coming from the city. You buy stuffs and give to people, right? You are going to go for events and all of that, and you're going to return. Or are you going to stay there forever? Won't you return? You will return, and you face your bill. By the time you travel and come back, you see that you spent over 100,000. 100,000 that you'd have used for something else. Invest it in your business. You don't know where to take it to. I'm not saying you should not travel. Whatever you are traveling for, if it's not important, people don't know. People don't know how to place things in order of preferences. Hierarchy of needs. People don't know how to place things in hierarchies. They don't know. The fact that somebody is having a wedding does not mean you should go if you cannot afford it. That is not in necessity. You can. Do you know, if you call the person on phone and congratulate the person and send the person 10,000, the person will love you. The person will appreciate you than traveling, paying everything. Hey, all the stress you went through traveling, the money you've spent traveling, and you go there, you did not even give the person anything. You are not clapping for the person, hugging the person. Person will be, as you're hugging the person yeah, you did not give me anything. You came to eat my rice. There's some things you need to cut down. It's not every Christmas you should travel. Cut it down. I haven't traveled for 3 years. Or is it 4 years now? I haven't traveled. I have my reasons. Not you have traveled. Something is happening. Hey, this person do this one. You have traveled. This person died. He's not even related to you, or is even distant, or even your presence is not even needed there. You have traveled. This person is doing this one. This person wanted to defecate. The defecate is not coming out. You have traveled. This person, everything, you have traveled. You are always on the go. So wasting money that you do not have. That is why you borrow now. That is why you be indebted. That is why you be under pressure. You see that? You do not need all those traveling. Now, even if you have the money to travel, I want to fly first class. First class is good though. If you can afford it. There are people that anything even above first class, they can afford it, But it's not weight. You cannot afford it. You just want to impress people. You even snap so that people will see you as staying on first class. When you are done with first class, you come back, you have not paid your children's school fees. Is that wisdom? Is that wisdom? Fly economy. This the same plane, all of you will stay. It's the only cutting that is differentiating them. Only cutting. And probably the food. And when you get to where you are going to eat food, it's still the same thing. Whatever it is they share to them, then eat it where you are going to is the same thing. Say economy, fly economy is the same container that will carry all of you and get to where you are going to is the same thing. Why do you want to put yourself under pressure? Who are you impressing? Who are you trying to impress? You are impressing people that don't love you, people that don't even care about you. What kind of lifestyle? What kind of a lifestyle is that? So cut down on your traveling. Cut it down. Then the next one you need to cut down is wedding for people that are yet to wed. I've said this thing over and over again, and I will not stop saying it because people get married every Saturday. I will not stop saying it. Now, wedding, there is nowhere it is written that you must have a reception. Quote me anywhere. Show me where it's written. Show me, just show me, then I'll shut my mouth. That you must have a reception. It's not written anywhere. There's nowhere it's written that you must have souvenirs. It's not written anywhere. It's what people just made up. It's not written anywhere. Meaning, because I've seen lots of people, I have lots of young people that come to me and tell me, I want to get married this year, but things are not really working well. I have not really raised enough money. I asked one of them, how much are you looking at? He said, I'm looking at inviting about how many? He said about 300 people. I asked them, the 300 people, do you know all of them? He said, some family fair, people that will come and bring other people and come. I said, wow. You want to impress people on your wedding? Wedding has nothing to do with extended whatever. Wedding is when you have joined this, it has paid bride price, you have paid bride price, they say you are a wife, you have done your court wedding, you want to do church wedding, fine, you've done chicken now. That's the end though. Anything that happens after then It's not wedding. It's luxury. If you can afford it, if you can afford a reception, go ahead. You know, some people say, I want to have a society wedding, talk of town. Hey, now we they run this town. Once we enter, everybody go soji. Oh, wonderful. When they are done sojing, now you go soji the next soji. You have spent millions that you do not have. Some people even borrow to cook. The people will come and eat and go. Your bill will be before you. Oh. Who is going to pay the bills? It's you that will pay the bills. It's you. Reception is luxury. If you can afford it, that's beautiful. Feed the people. But if you cannot afford, I have seen somebody that, hey, anything I'm telling you now, it is workable, it's doable. But people think, hey, am I going to be the first person that will not do this kind of thing? No, everybody is doing reception. Oh, hey, God forbid. My own poverty has not reached like that. That means be ready to beg. Because by the time you are done satisfying people and you're just starting a new life, then the people that cooked will come calling you. Pay us our balance. People that did decoration, you never pay me my money. Oh, you go put life for one trouser. Oh. People that did cake, pay me my balance. That is when your life will dawn on you. You know how far. You know how far. So live within your means, even when it comes to your wedding. If you cannot afford that luxury wedding, if you must have a reception, why not gather your family, close family, you, your father, your mother, your immediate siblings, your wife's father, mother, immediate sibling. That's all. There's no way people will be up to 15, 15, 20. Look for a fine place, stay there, give them food. If you can afford it, give them food. Everybody goes to their house. Or better still, tell them after the church wedding or after the traditional rite, whatever, everybody be going to your house. So that is where the whole matter is ending. Nobody will flog you. As long as you have given the community people what is theirs, what is Julia's, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Once you have done that, you see that extra one that nobody is going to sue you. Nobody is going to say anything, no, because it's luxury. It's not important. It's not a need. It's not a necessity. It's only a want. It's only a desire. You need to separate those two things. That's why many people are not yet married. Because they are looking for 2 million, 3 million to get married. Whereas you can just do everything within your means. Just the list that they've given you. That's all. You go your way. But people will not agree. That's why they'll start a new life with indebtedness. Highly indebted. People will be highly indebted in their new life. What kind of life is that? Please tell me. The next we'll be talking about is dedication. This dedication is just like the wedding also. I have seen a particular friend, not really friend, me, I don't keep friends. I've seen a particular neighbor of mine that the child stayed at home about 6 months, or 7 months. I think it was even going to 1 year. I said, what is your problem? Won't you go and dedicate your child? What is your problem? He said, we don't have the money for dedication. I said, money? Since when did they start using money for dedication? When? He said, we have to cook. I said, did you hear the word? Hey, check your dictionary in case you do not understand dedication. No. Dedication is not to dedicate the child to God. That is it. Once you are done, you have dedicated your child. There's no way the people who are going to undedicate because it did not serve them food, they will not undedicate. It's not possible. I told her. She still insisted, and before they now as well. I have gone for dedication in quotes where the people that are dedicating their children told us in the church that there's nothing like reception. They told them to announce that there's nothing like reception. Nobody beats them. Nobody sued them. Nobody even laughed at them. People only talked just about few seconds and everybody left. But they joined them to dedicate the child. In the church, they celebrated with them. After that, everybody to your tents. Oh, Israel, go back to your house. Go and eat your rice in your house. Because they could not afford it. Don't put your life under pressure because you want to please people that do not like you. They couldn't afford it. Perhaps in the future, when they afford it, that child will throw a large party for that child. People need to understand this thing so that they will not be putting themselves under pressure unnecessarily. It's not necessary. You see many people going into depression, their blood pressure shoot up. It's because they are living above their sizes. They are living above, because if you cut down your appetite, you won't be under pressure. Trust me. If you follow all these things I'm telling you like this, do it like this. Don't mind what people. I have done these things. I'm telling you. I told you how we started now. People will come and laugh, but they will not laugh in my face. They might go back and laugh. That's fine. But are they still laughing now? No, you cannot laugh. So it's better you laugh at me in the past than laughing at me now. Because I've moved. My time have changed. My season have changed. You need to understand that this is just a phase that you are passing. You're not going to stay like this forever. No, it's just a passing phase. You need to understand it. The next one. I told you some people will not like me. You will not like me after now. You will not like me after now. Your friends, cut them down. You know, you may want to do all these things, but the company you keep, the company you keep determines what accompanies you. Cut down on some friendship. The friendship that will lead you into problem. Cut them down. Cut them down. There are many things you have said, you have decided that you do. But once you find yourself in their company, you find yourself doing those things you said you'll never do again. Cut them down. Walk with the wise. Iron sharpens iron. Walk with people that will sharpen you. People that will take you to the throne. Walk with them. Don't walk with people that will keep you indebted. They will push you as they are buying this thing. Join me and buy. We are friends. I can't have it. It's not as if he's buying it for you. He's pushing you to use your own money to buy it. And you don't really need that thing, but because you want to feel among, you are buying it. So cut down on your friends. The friend that is not taking you to the next level, cut them out. Cut them out. You don't need them. They are burdens. They are burdens. They are extra load to your future. You do not need them. And lastly, what you should cut down. Your sexual... I know you not like what I'm talking about, but we have to say the truth anyways. Your sexual appetite. Your sexual appetite, cut it down. Sex is not every day. Sex is energy. It's your energy. So as a man, if anybody that wears skirt that passes, you want them. It's only a matter of time. Your destiny will be cut down. Whatever you don't cut down will cut you down. Any habit, anything, any appetite you have refused to cut down, to watch, to curb, to curtail, will soon cut you down. So any skirt that passes you want, any girl that passes you want. Sometimes you're a married man, sometimes you're not even a married man. Don't you know whatever your ejaculation is your strength? I have seen cases of, there was a particular place I worked in my shop, my former neighbor. He came to me complaining that they said he needs to boost his sperm count. He needs to boost his sperm count. That while he was a youth, that he has had many flings, that he has lost plenty sperm count. And he told me, confided in me, that he was jumping from one woman to another while he was a youth. Now, the sperm is not counting again. The sperm has refused to count because he refused to cut down his sexual appetite. He had so much energy. He didn't know those things that were going were his power. Those things that were going were his energy. And there will be a point in time he will need it and he won't find it anymore. But thank God they were able to revive and restore it. So it's not every girl that you need. It's not every man you see that you need. No. Cut down your sexual desire. Have you not noticed that after sexual intercourse, you are tired? Have you not asked yourself, why am I always tired after sexual intercourse? Because it's your strength that went forth. So save your strength, use it for something else. It's not every time, anything you see, you have your own wife, but anybody that passes, you want. Cut it down. You don't need all those things. Cut it down, or it's going to cut it down in the future. Do you understand that? Now, cutting down this sexual appetite is the reason why some people are into wrong marriages. This thing we're talking about is the reason why some people are in wrong marriages, because they see a man, because of his wealth, they want to marry the person because the person is rich. The person is going to satisfy their needs, their wants, and all of that. They go for the person, and they end up being a punching bag, or someone that will be neglected or regulated, or will be put aside like a piece of furniture, because of your long throat, because of your big eye, because what you have is not enough for you. You want more. You now end up in a wrong relationship. So cut down your appetite. Separate your wants from your needs. Know the one that is essential. That is the one you should face now. The one that is not essential, let it go. Let it go. When you have the money, you can go for that want. But you see your need, very essential. For example, now, your children, you've not paid their school fees, but you see fine clothes, you bought the clothes. Tell me if you're a sensible father or mother. You've not cleared the bills, your rent, for example. But you saw a fine shoe. They told you the shoe is about 50 something thousand. You say, I must rock this shoe. You bought it. That 50 something thousand is something to your rent. See? Order of need, hierarchy, we don't have it. So the earlier we are able to do these things will work out fine for us. And I know things are definitely going to work out for us. So that is what we are talking about. That will be the end for this show. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you learned something. Drop right in the comment sections what you learned, or some suggestions or comments. Drop it down in the comment sections, and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until I come your way next week. Next week we're talking about health. Please get set and join us. We're talking about cancer, how to avert cancer. Join us, stay tuned. Until I come your way next week, I remain Queen Jane, your host, rescued by the truth. Bye.